So, in this episode of Stocks of the Week, we're going to concentrate on the stocks that made profit because of the strikes that happened in Iran. Now, of course, as a military veteran myself, we definitely support America and we support our troops. What we don't support is war and innocent lives being lost. So, prayerfully, the president and the administration gets their act together because nobody wants war. It's senseless. It doesn't help anybody, and people get hurt. Now, you can say whatever you want about Iran, but the people of Iran do not deserve what happened with the strikes. Now, a lot of money that we spend as taxpayers go to Israel, and they funnel that to bomb innocent people. We need to protect our interests here in the United States and protect our people. And if somebody is a threat against us, then we need to act. And I know this firsthand because, again, as a military veteran, I was deployed in 2003 when the war started in Iraq. Now, at the time, I was all gung-ho. But later, as we find out, it was a pissing contest between President Bush to do what his father didn't do. And it was a lie about weapons of mass destruction. And we had innocent lives on both sides. I lost people that I knew personally because of a war that we shouldn't go in. So we're going to talk about the three stocks today that will grow because of this, but I'm not advocating war. I'm not saying we should be bombing anybody. I think it's senseless, and I think we should have done it in the first place, but only time will tell. But again, we're talking about the three stocks that will grow your portfolio if we do have war, because as Americans, there's nothing we can do about it. It's up to the president and administration. So y'all ready? Lego!
And you just wanna get paid, tired of making no money mistakes, make a payment on your bills and you still late, yeah, pay for profits to help you seek change, and you just wanna get paid, yeah, tired of making no money mistakes, make a payment on your bills and you still late, pay for profits to help you seek change, yeah, cut the show and just listen, you wanna feel empowered by making money decisions.
So the first stock that we're going to talk about is the stock, in my opinion, of the next 5 years. So the stock of the decade today is no other than NVIDIA. And NVIDIA has done some great things for our clients' accounts because we bought that back in 2019 and slowly and surely scaled up. Now, knowing today what I knew 6 years ago, we'd have put a lot more in NVIDIA, but NVIDIA has been the stock of the decade. But the stock over the next 5 years, because of what they do with data, is Palantir. And as we can see, Palantir last week, when the market was basically down, was up. Not by that much, up by 0.18%, but it did not go down like the stock market went down. And Palantir, they have a lot going for them, right? They were founded back in 2003, the headquarters in either Denver or Colorado Springs. And why that's important? Because they do a lot with our data. Now, this CEO was one of the 30 CEOs that went to Saudi Arabia to quote unquote kiss the ring, to Qatar to quote unquote kiss the ring, and they got $4.8 billion of government funding for it. And what they do is very, very particular on how war, surveillance, drone, and just plain old spying of citizens here in the US and worldwide are going to continue. Because in the age of conflict and warfare, they have real-time battlefield surveillance, and those capabilities are used for missions. I would not be surprised if some of the analytics that Palantir had allowed us to unfortunately, very easily bomb those 3 sites in Iran. Palantir also contracted with the Israeli government. Probably some of their analytics and their real-time surveillance helped them pinpoint those targets that they've been bombing, unfortunately, in Iran as well. And they are basically like the brain of modern defense. So war will not be fought anymore with boots on the ground. Prayerfully not, because of companies like Palantir. See, they take the data analytics for everybody. They know your movements, what you're doing, not what you're doing, and they're able to protect innocent bystanders in the time of war and in a time of peace. So when we have airstrikes like we've been doing in Yemen for years now, it has not been a lot of quote unquote casualties that might be housing weapons of mass destruction or might be trying to build nuclear weapons. And this is why Palantir stock has went up so dramatically, because it allows governments not to have the risk, not to have the negative media about war, even though war is going on around the world as we speak. And they're used by everybody. Their software is used by the CIA, the FBI, the ATF, Department of Defense. They help coordinate missions, and they use artificial intelligence in real time to dictate the movement of individuals, of weapons, and of resources so that us and other foreign governments that they give this information to as well are able to do pinpoint attacks. Again, not saying it's right. We don't want to see no innocent people pass away. However, Palantir is a company that's going to continue to grow. And they're up like crazy this year already. They're up over 80%. Person had $100,000 in Palantir. Today, they're up by $80,000 from 100 to 180,000. And Palantir is actually the top holding. So the top single stock holding of our portfolios that we do for our clients. Like you think about all the holdings, not including index funds, because we use the shadow method. I may have talked about it before, but the shadow method is where we follow indexes, right? So for every $100 invested, majority of our clients have in between 60 to 80% of their money in index funds. But when the market appears as going up, we get out of those index funds so we can quote unquote sell high. And when it's going down, we like to buy when it's going down. But the other 20% or the 30% of people's money, we actually break down what's in the S&P 500, what's in the NASDAQ, and we take those companies when the market is going down and buy those single companies. So when things get back to where they were, you have a higher growth rate. We've been doing that for Palantir for the last 3 years, and it has dramatically helped us. We bought Palantir actually April 8th, a week after Liberation Day. And since then, it's up by 45%. A great gain for our clients. I believe Palantir is going to continue to go up. It has a chance in the next 5 years because they are a way for countries to wage war without having innocent bystanders and not the media talking about boots on the ground, and to have surveillance and do systematic drone target interference. It is no reason why this stock won't go up by another 400 to 500%. I know it's crazy to think about that one stock is going to go up by literally 400 to 500% in the next 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's at least going to double, if not triple. The market every 6 years doubles. I think this is going to do 2 or 3 times as good as the market. So if the market doubles, this can easily triple. So not advice, just information, but definitely Palantir, the stock of the week, not from a war standpoint, but from a gain in your portfolio standpoint, up by 1.8%. Then it's another company that is literally right down the street. Well, not right down the street, like about an hour and a half away in Melbourne, Florida, where some of my family live at. But this company is L3 Harris, symbol LHX. And it's down. It's down by 3.2% this past week. But they strictly do communications for defense, right? They're part of technology that makes sure that doesn't matter where you're at in the world, the communications from a defense standpoint is as pat and as safe as it can be. They also invest in space systems, electronic warfare, and with electronic warfare, that's the new boots on the ground. You see, it's a lot easier to cause chaos, cause harm, have people go into a frenzy when you shut off the internet, when you block people from going on different sites, when you stop access to having Wi-Fi and information. It is so much despair, so much confusion when that happens. Heck, just think about what happened last year with CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike had a huge data breach where a lot of people's information got leaked, went on a dark web, and who knows what happened. It sent people just in a tizzy because the information hit the dark web. Now, just imagine if not only our information hits the dark web, but now everything is blocked. Can't go on the phone, can't see social media. Well, they help with those malware. It's crazy, right? A company that's making malware and spyware to make sure that electronic warfare is on the side of the United States. So doing war, do you think that company's going to grow? Do you think big money is going to put money into that company, or you think they're not going to invest in it? Because of countries not wanting the negative press about bombing and killing innocent people or having boots on the ground themselves. Because again, we've been at war in Yemen for a very long time, bombing them almost every single day, it seems like. News unreported. But if we had 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 troops in Yemen, different story. So LS Harris Technologies gives that cover, like the Wizard of Oz, when something's going on, we don't know about it. It gives the U.S. that cover to do so. And Wall Street actually rewarded them, right? Because they had a buy consensus, a target of now $258 a share from a price standpoint. When their stock is at $250, earlier this year, it was almost at $200. So most individuals think this is going to be a 75% gain in the next 6 to 12 months. If we do have war, if we do have more conflict, we can actually see this stock double. Because anytime we look at the fence always goes up before war and during war. And since, again, we've been at war a long time with different countries, companies like this, and specifically LHX, is going to give our government, the Israeli government, and some of our other allies the ability to do electronic warfare without us knowing what's going on. So the media can't report. When the media doesn't report, we don't know what's going on. So LXX, yes, is down by 3.2%, but for the year, it's up by 18%. Over the past 12 months, it's up by 55%. And again, it's an opportunity for an investor who thinks it might be conflict or might want their portfolio to profit off a conflict. If we do, this is something that can easily go up by 75%, like the analysts say, maybe even double over the next 12 months if we do have extra conflict. And then the last stock number 3, is symbol KTOS, up by 2.7% this past week. Defense and Securities Solution. They're based in San Diego, California. I think they were founded in 2003. And they bring war to a whole nother stratosphere. Because 50 years ago, when we tried to not have boots on the ground, we did way more airstrikes. Now today, we have drones. But the issue with drones is that the capability wasn't the best. Like if you compare a drone and human interaction into one, that's the best of both worlds from a military standpoint. And symbol KTOS is actually doing that. You see, they design and build unmanned aerial systems known as drones, directed with energy weapons, satellite systems, and advanced communication tech. So they focus on low-cost, high-performance defense solutions, especially in autonomous warfare. This allows them to give their data to the highest bidder, which is usually the U.S. and Israel, and then they take that data, build, with all the money they have, unmanned drones, and with that data, have them go anywhere and everywhere and strike. The rumor is that the unmanned drone that actually fired at the Kremlin last year from Ukraine was actually a drone from KTOS. Now, of course, they didn't claim responsibility, but out of all the unmanned drone companies in the world, they by far have the best technology. So, of course, who is using that best, latest, and greatest technology right now? The United States. They are headquartered in the USA, and taxpayers, we don't even know about it. The old companies like Lockheed Martin, the old companies like Raytheon, they still exist. And they're the lobby. And they're going to make sure they get theirs. And their stock is going to grow up because of war. But you see, you have what you call profit margin. And these smaller companies, with all the new tech, all the latest and greatest inventors of the world when it comes to defense, they are allowing their inventions to be looked at and bought, and their stocks are going up like crazy because of it. But why does this matter when it comes to KTOS? Well, again, like I said, war is shifting from boots on the ground to drones, and they're the company that supplies the next generation of smart computing. And they have one specific drone called the Valkyrie drone that has already been funded by the Pentagon. The Pentagon looked at this drone, the technology in it, and is now making a duplicate of this drone as we speak. This is just what we know of. We know there's other drones out there that they've built that the Pentagon, Department of Defense has looked at, broken down, and has contracted with. So do you think KTOS is going to go up or going to go down? Even if it's not military escalation, which I hope and pray it won't, KTS is a stock in general that's going to benefit from a way to fight without having human lives lost, in a year at least. And their stock has been crazily growing this year. They're up over 60%. But over the past year, their 1 year return from June last year to June this year, they have doubled up by over 114%. More than Palantir. Well, not more than Palantir. Palantir's up by 400% the past year. My bad. But I mean, what has made 114%? Even LXX has made over 50% the last year, but K2S has doubled. I believe this has the ability to actually triple, yes, not double, but triple over the next 12 to 18 months, especially if we have escalation. They hit their high February 2021 at $40 a share. And then, of course, we all know what happened in 2022. So they broke that. So from a retracement standpoint, they went from $35 a share down to $14 a share and back to 35 and broke that resistance. That means from a retracement standpoint, they have another 150% to go. Another 150% just from a technical analysis standpoint, plus people buying this stock because defense companies will buy this stock as they're doing now. Will invest in this company as they're doing now. This can easily go up by not 100% over the next 12 to 18 months, but maybe 200%. So with that being said, we don't want anybody to lose their lives. And believe you me, we don't want war at all. But the three stocks that will go up because of escalation, and if it is some type of war or more conflict, even if we're not involved because we are involved in everything, these are the three companies you want to watch out for. Palantir, I think the stock of the next 5 years, up by 0.18%. LXX down by 3.5%, but still a lot of room for growth. And K2OS up by 2.74%. I think can actually triple, quadruple over the next 12 to 18 months. Now, past performance does not guarantee future results. And I am a certified financial planner, but on these social media airways, I'm just giving information. Do not go YOLO in all these stocks. Do your research. Talk to your local financial advisor. Talk to your consultant. Do your research again. Do your research again. We give information, and yes, our portfolios consistently outperform the market, but it's also time in the market and timing the market, right? You can buy a stock at its high, it goes down. We bought the same stock 6 months ago at its low, same stock, different time. You lose money, we made money, and vice versa. So just because we get this information today and all three of these stocks are up dramatically doesn't mean they might not pull back. All stocks will pull back. So again, it's information. Do your own research. But as always, like, subscribe, share to our channel. Give me your comments. Is there any other stocks out there tied to defense that you think is going to go up? Should I not even be doing this video because it's talking about how to profit off of war, even though I'm saying we don't want nobody to go to war. We don't want nobody to die. Again, being a Army veteran, a disabled Army veteran, because I hurt my ankle during the war, I understand war is horrible, and I lost individuals I knew in the war in 2003. But again, like, subscribe, share. As always, let's make some painful or painless profits together, y'all, and pray for our country and for the citizens of Iran. Peace.